Welcome back, everybody. My name is Dan Gazaway, your mental performance coach. Today I'm going to be talking about common knowledge isn't always common practice, and we hear this all the time in the area of mental performance. And I'm going to give you some mental habits that I feel separate elite athletes from the average athletes. Now, before I do this, we're going to be talking about things like focus. We're going to be talking about self-talk, resetting skills, controlling the controllables, and process-based thinking. However, these are very common practices, or these aren't common practices. So I want to give you a mental edge without more hours in the gym. And if you're looking for that, this video is for you. Again, common knowledge isn't common practice. And I want you to think about your sport right now. In your sport, knowing what to do means nothing if you don't actually do it, right? We know better, but we don't do better sometimes. Take, for example, eating healthy. We all know what eating healthy means. It's adding more water. It's getting more protein. It's eating fewer processed foods and adding more vegetables to our diet. But we don't always necessarily do that. Because the second we see a banana cream pie, especially in Thanksgiving, this is what happened to me, common sense disappears and we succumb to the temptation, right? And the same things happen to us in our sports. They happen to us mentally in our sport. So let's talk, for example, about sleep and how that affects our focus. Sleep affects our discipline. And we know 8 hours of sleep matters to us. And if we don't get enough, that affects everything about us. It affects our judgment. It affects our mood. It slows down our learning. And our memory is affected by all of it. And in the long term, we know lack of sleep can cause, or it increases obesity. Studies show it increases the likelihood of diabetes, of anxiety, and even depression. But how many athletes do I talk to that sacrifice sleep for most everything else? Especially high school and the collegiate athletes that I work with, then they wonder why they're inconsistent, right? Another one I want to talk about is planning your day. Otherwise, you're going to react all day. We know we should plan our day before it plans us. And elite athletes are proactive. They plan their day. They create a schedule of their most important tasks. We call these MITs, and they ensure they do them. Average athletes, they're reactive all day. They react all day long to other people's demands and other people's schedules for them. Another one that is common, it's common knowledge. Control what you can control. We all know this one. However, it's not always practiced. You can't control the umpires or the refs. You can't control your opponents. You can't control the weather or the field conditions or the results that you're going to get. But what do many athletes obsess over? They obsess over the outcomes. They obsess over the opinions of others, which we can't control. They obsess over their statistics and their rankings. So what I want you to do is take a step back and ask yourself, what can I control right now? And those are the things that you want to focus on. And you can definitely control your attitude. You can control your effort, your preparation, and of course you can control your mindset. I like to say acknowledge what you can't change and refocus on what you can. Again, everybody, this is common knowledge, yet not common practice. Another one is resetting quickly. It's also common knowledge. We talk about this one often. Every athlete messes up. Every single athlete does. But what do athletes tend to do when they do that? They tend to carry the last play into the next one. Now, we know that elite athletes reset very quickly. if you're a pitcher that just gave up a home run, I give this example all the time. This next pitch is your most important pitch. You can't change what just happened. You've got to hit the reset button and focus on this pitch right here and right now. Now, I think resetting is more important than your motivation actually is, because you're not always going to be motivated. You have to, again, hit that reset button. And here's the key. You don't want to personalize failure. A bad play doesn't mean you're a bad athlete, okay? One of the other things I want to talk about is your self-talk. It actually matters. And again, what you say to yourself matters. We talk about this very often. Yet we allow negative self-talk to really run unchecked. And we have to be kind to ourselves, right? You would never talk to a teammate. Sometimes the way that some athletes talk to themselves, we would never talk to somebody else like that. So we need to be kind. And I want you to hear this one clearly. You are important, regardless of your performance. You are not your sport. Your sport is what you do, not who you are. And as much as we say this, we need to practice that. Again, common knowledge, but not common practice. Another one, process beats outcome. Okay? Process is what creates the results that we want. If we focus on the outcome, we tie ourselves, sometimes we tie our self-worth to stats, to our wins, our rankings. You will spiral out of control. You're going to lose control if you do that. Professional athletes, they fall in love with the process. And what they do is they create healthy habits. They enjoy every single rep. They embrace the boredom because they love the process of improvement. And the last one I have for you today is very simple. Train your mind like you do your body. Now, many of us spend countless hours in the gym, right? But 0 minutes training focus, 0 minutes training self-talk or reset skills. Again, mental skills are trainable just like the physical ones, and ignoring them is actually costing you so much more than you think. So here's my challenge to you today. What common knowledge, mental skills are you avoiding? What common knowledge, mental skills are you avoiding? Now, if you want to identify just one and start practicing that today, that's what I recommend. And that's how I believe confidence is built. I believe that that's how consistency is created. And that's how great athletes are able to separate themselves from dominating instead of just merely competing. So, if you're interested in my one-on-one mental performance coaching, I do have an 8 and a 12-week program. I put links in the description below. And as always, make sure you hit the subscribe button and share this with other people that you know would want to improve their mental performance. Athletes you would feel would benefit from my channel. And last but not least, thank you for joining, and we'll do it again next time.